What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we are going to be taking a look at this steel wheel cut jack. This is the 3.5 inch size. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. All right, today we are going to be taking a look at this beautiful knife. This is the steel wheel cut jack. This is the full size 3.5 inch version. This was loaned to me by my good friend 2A_Punky_92. His link, or his Instagram will be down below. Please go give him a follow, because it is because of people like him that I am able to bring you knives that I just don't own or would never buy. And this is definitely not one of those. This is one that I have actually been wondering about for quite a while. It's been out for a long time. And then Steel Wheel, of course, a company that has so many different models. This one in particular is the cut jack. They have a mini. They also have more premium versions in like G10 and M390. This one is the budget-friendly version, which is the FRN handles and D2 blade steel. Which, you know, as far as today's market, that's usually what you get in a budget knife. However, a lot of the budget knives nowadays are using materials like G10. So the FRN, I'm just not a huge fan of. However, the way that they've done it is actually not really bad at all. It almost feels more dense than the FRN that I have felt on things like the lightweight versions of the Spyderco knives. I actually prefer the way this feels, believe it or not. It just feels more sturdy to me. The texturing that they do on the FRN is good too, because it provides a lot of grip, but it's not like tremendously like over grippy, you know. So they did a real good job there. Of course, D2 steel is just an excellent budget steel. I still love D2. A lot of people don't, but D2, I have a lot of knives in D2 steel. Yes, it's not corrosion resistant, so you have to take care of them. But they, you know, the edge retention is really good, has relatively good toughness, and I really have enjoyed my knives in D2. So this one, I dig. One of the main things that I really like about it is the ergonomics. This thing is very, very comfortable in the hand. Now, I do have larger hands, so as you can see here, you know, I've got a full grip in right here, but of course, if you watch my channel, you know that this right here is what I love. This one has a forward finger control, and it's done very well where my big old fat sausagey fingers can get in there and just, oh, it just melts in my hand in these ergonomics. And so very, very comfortable to use in this grip. I can still choke back and still feel great. Matter of fact, the jimping is done very well on this knife as well. So when I'm choked back, the jimping is in the right spot. When I'm choked up, it's not really. I can kind of keep my finger back here and it works, but I want to kind of put it up here with where the jimping is not. It's not a big deal. They've broken down the edges of this blade so it's not sharp. It's a very nice blade shape too. Very utilitarian. I like the way it looks. I love the full swedge it has on the top. It is a high saber grind, and it is relatively thin behind the edge. But you know what? I don't think I wrote it down, so we're going to go ahead and check that real fast. So yeah, I'm getting around 16 to 17 thousandths behind the edge. And I definitely felt that whenever I was cutting with this bad boy. It's thin behind the edge. It's only got about 120 thousandths thick stock here. Let's just go ahead and double check that. So it's actually less than that. It's about 115 thousandths. And so with that high saber grind, puts it really thin behind the edge. This thing really did well with all materials that I put it through. And with the ergonomics, it's just a really good choice for an EDC carry. Now, it's not the smallest thing in the world. They do make a mini, like I said, but you guys know me. I like the bigger knives. Let's go ahead and put it up against some of my favorite budget knives in this price range. This thing can be had for about $42. It is 8 inches long with a 3.5 inch blade. Has a blade width of about 1 1/8. Like I said, 120 thousandths behind the edge, and it weighs about 3.71. So that's a pretty good weight. You know, with a 3.5 inch blade, it's right there at the ounce per inch mark. So I think a lot of people are going to love that. Some of my other favorites. This is the Civivi Praxis. It is definitely a larger knife, but it's around the same price. You do have G10 full liners and a D2 blade. The cut jack does have internal liners that go all the way down that is milled out, which keeps this thing at that really nice 3.7 ounces. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the Civivi Praxis is a much better knife, but you get two different knives here. The Civivi on the flipping action works, but it's a lot lazier than, and it's kind of hard for me to say that because the flipping action is good on this thing. But the flipping action on the Cutjack just is a little bit more snappier. I love the detent. It just flies out there with not much pressure. It is running on phosphor bronze washers, but as you can see, the action on it is pretty nice. Now, the Civivi Praxis, however, is running on bearings, so as you can see, you know, it's about the same, but you can definitely tell that this is a little bit smoother because it's running on bearings. It's got a bigger blade, so it's one of those things where you can definitely tell the difference. But all in all, these things are very similar. One of my all-time favorite budget knives is the CRJB Felspar. Now, the Felspar is a G10 handle with D2 blade. It does have contouring on these G10, which is done very, very well. Nested liners, liner lock. Very, very snappy on the thumb stud deployment, and I mean, just one of my favorites, actually. And as you can see, still a very good size comparison. And this is also about the same price. Matter of fact, a little bit less. You can get the CJRB for like $35. And in my opinion, yeah, that is a better deal. Just because I love these ergonomics a lot more. However, I love the finger troll. The finger troll on the Cutjack is better than the Civivi Praxis. It just feels like I've got more room on the Cutjack, so they did a really good job there. The handles, like I said, on the CJRB are more comfortable because of that contouring. However, with that finger troll, if you like a finger troll, I think this is a very good option, especially maybe with the G10 model. The other budget knife that we'll compare it to, which is almost everybody's favorite, is the Ontario Rat number 1. Rat 1 is just a little bit longer, as you can see. This one is also, these two are running on bearings. This one is actually running on washers, just like the Cutjack. And with the action on this, it's just a tad bit worse than on the Cutjack. The Cutjack actually works really, I'm not going to say better. The Ontario Rat is very smooth, okay? It doesn't fall shut or shake shut like the steel will. So if that's something that's important to you, then the steel will would definitely be up your alley because it just feels a little bit better as far as that, that smooth, just kind of shake shut feeling. So yeah, I enjoy flipping this guy more than I actually enjoy using the thumb studs on this. However, the fact that I can do the middle finger flick on the thumb studs kind of puts it a little bit more fidgety in my area. Not everybody is the same, but to be able to do that makes it a little bit more fidgety for me. But all in all, this guy is excellent. Now, it does have a reversible pocket clip, so you can put it right hand tip up or left hand tip up. So the lefties out there are really going to like it. The pocket clip works well. It does not sit deep carry, which you guys know I don't mind that. It does have a landing control out to the side here, which will appease maybe 5 people that I know. So the fact that it doesn't seat deep carry doesn't bother me. However, the pocket clip works well. It's just got a lot of tension on it, and it's riding over this rough surface on the FRN. So it does kind of rub against your pants, and so it's kind of I wouldn't say much of a pocket shredder, but it will do that and be a little bit harder to get out of your pocket if it compared to something that was a little bit flatter, something like on the G10 here. So that right there actually, and the pocket clip on these guys are done right. So not a huge deal, but something to look out for. The flipper tab works amazingly. I love the action on this knife. However, it is kind of sticking out there a little bit. I kind of wish it was a little bit flatter, I guess. It's not that bad because whenever you put it in your pocket, the pocket clip angles it this way, so you're not really grabbing it. But if you do, you can catch just that little bit of an area there. I think they did a pretty decent job of rounding it off. The jimping is not sharp, so I didn't have any issues getting my hand in my pocket while I had this guy. And so, yeah, it's just a little bit longer than I think it needed to be. I think if they kind of went down and did more of a push button, it wouldn't have to be that long, but it's not really that big of a deal. hardware and everything on this guy. I did not, of course, take this guy apart because it is not my knife. However, on some of the research that I did, it sounds like they use the permanent thread locker, which is a no-no. So if you are buying this knife, the people that I've known that the videos that I saw, they had to use a soldering iron to get that initial break of the threads, and then of course after that it's no big deal. But I'm hoping that since that time that Steel Wheel has stopped doing the permanent thread locker, because that is a knife guy's nightmare and we just don't like that. So stop doing that, Steel Wheel, and every other knife company out there. But all in all, I really have enjoyed this blade. The ergonomics really is what done it. Is, you know, it makes me want this knife, especially for a budget. This thing for 42 bucks is a steal. Like I said, these other ones are around the same price, and it really is just a matter of aesthetics and what you want. Because like I said, you can't get G10, you can't get M390, you can't get that in these. But you can in this. So if you like this blade shape, you like the way this design looks, you can actually upgrade. Now, the G10 M390 blade is a huge jump. You know, you're talking about 42 bucks for this one and $144 for the G10 M390. I'm not sure that I'm on board with that. But, you know, it's still competitive in the market today if you like this design. But me personally, you know, especially for a knife that I'm going to use as a beater, an everyday carry beater that I'm not going to worry about breaking or scuffing up, I think this is a great option because I love the way the blade shape looks. They did the grinds right. It cuts well. So it's just an overall very nice knife. And I really am appreciative to 2A_Punky_92 for letting me take a look at this and get it in pocket. It did meet my expectations of what I knew this knife could be after never having it in pocket until now. So now that I've got it in pocket and was able to carry this, I can definitely recommend this knife, because especially if you like finger choils, the ergonomics 100% are awesome. So guys, that's about it. I really appreciate everybody, all of your support. The community has just been so great. I really just want to thank 2A_Punky_92 for allowing me to take a look at this and other knives that he has sent. I will be sending the knives back to him or to another YouTuber here soon. I've got a lot of other knives on review right now, so stay tuned for more. Stay safe, guys, in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.